Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Pigskin Preview. I'm Danny Daniels. David Johnson's going to be joining me in just a few minutes. Lots to talk about this week. Loganville is going to try to get back on the winning track after losing at Heritage a week ago. Madison County is going to be in at Red Devil Field, and a big home game for Loganville. They really need to win at home in that region. Walnut Grove and Monroe area will be back in action after a week off last Friday. The Purple Hurricanes will be taking on Lumpkin County, a team that gave them fits a year ago in 2 meetings up in Dahlonega. Game time 7:30. It's the region opener for the Canes. Walnut Grove is going to be back in action after last week off, and they're coming off a 37-0 win over Jackson County. And we're going to see which Walnut Grove team shows up this Friday night. Of course, they opened the season with that shutout in Morgan County, then came back to beat the Panthers handily last week. Covenant Christian had a win last week. They're going to be off. Social Circle's going to be off this week. They'll try to regroup and get back on the winning track in a week. But first, we're going to talk to the only coach of the undefeated team in the county, Loganville Christian Schools, Andre King. All right, here at Loganville Christian Academy, talking with Coach Andre King. 3-0, you got to be really happy.
Yeah, Coach, we're thrilled. Off to a great start. The kids have worked hard all summer, and it's showing early in our early games. They came out, they competed really hard, really well, executing the game plan that we put in front of them every week, and it's been good. Our early success is good, and we just hope to keep it going. What's
been the difference, Andre, in the 3 years you've been here as far as the way this program is progressing?
I think the main thing is just our commitment in the summer, Danny. I got to be honest with you. We had a lot of guys stay around this summer. We got a local trainer over at BVG that trained us really hard, George, and he got after us in the summertime. A lot of these kids that didn't play basketball, didn't play baseball, they've been lifting since January, and it's proven that so far. Most of my linemen, they don't play another sport. And so far we haven't had any sacks. We've had 1 quarterback pressure and 1 knockdown, but no sacks this year. We're having time to execute our plays and not having to be rushed so quickly to make decisions. The running game's been great. I think we've rushed over 300 yards in 3 games. So it's been really well to see that combination come together.
Can you see the confidence in this team building?
Absolutely, absolutely. Every practice, every game, they're more confident when they take the field, and I think that's directly attributed to they're just stronger. They know they can do it now. In the past, they're like, well, I'm not that strong. I'm gaining in confidence. I'm gaining in experience. But now this year, it's a perfect match where they're putting it together.
Tell about last week's game a little bit. How were you? Obviously, had to be pleased.
Yes, we were. Tough going on the road to play New Creation. It's a tough bunch. They play football hard, fast, and physical, and we just had to match their intensity. It was close early on. I think it was 6-0 at the end of the first quarter. We scored another touchdown prior to halftime, so it was still a tight ball game, 13-0 going into halftime. And we just had to kind of weather their run, weather their storm. Don't make too many big mistakes to get them back in the game, and I think our boys did a great job of that.
And I don't know how much you want to talk about the north side situation, but you had to be proud of your kids for not getting more involved than they did.
Yeah, outstanding. Our boys and coaching staff did a great job of that. Unfortunate, you don't see that every week, and that's not what football is about. Obviously, that's not what LCA is about. But our boys handled ourselves well. They fought, they competed in the ball game, and played football like we coached them to play football. And at the end of the day, we're going to be fine after all that.
Okay. Let's talk about some of the kids that are playing well for you.
Yeah. I think early on, Terrence Brown's looking great for us as a senior, coming in and stepping in the role as running back. We had an injury early on with our starting running back, so he's been able to come in and fill that role. Our offensive line is playing well, from Hayden Helms to Cole Barrow, Jameel Baker. My young quarterback, Joey, he's coming in there done well after senior Matt Kirkland graduated last year. He's handled the offense great. He's been able to make the good reads and make the good throws and takes what the defense gives him. And last week, we saw more of our passing game and with receivers like Terrence caught some footballs. Marshall Dreyer, who was injured last year, contributed, and obviously Tyler Browning, returning leading receiver from last year. He came in and had 2 big touchdowns, and we were able to expand the playbook a little bit more and got him involved in the passing game.
What kind of changes, if any, did you have to make? Your background's been in public schools and college and the NFL. Did you have to make any coaching philosophy or coaching physical changes when you came to a Christian school as far as the caliber of athletes that you're dealing with?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was mental, the mental approach to the game, because these kids don't know all there is to know about the football, the ins and outs, the little small details that make 11-man football go. So we had to really scale back the playbook from where I once came from and really just focus on technique and your production and your effort, and then slowly give them little bits and pieces of the playbook so they can really master it, really understand it. There's no sense giving them this grand game plan where they're confused. So we had to really make it simple for them so they know exactly what they're doing on every play, offense, defense, and special teams.
All right. You bragging, but not bragging. Tell them about your background as far as playing. You've been around.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing sports all my life. You know, from graduating high school, 1993, playing professional baseball. Did that for 4 years, and had an opportunity to go to the University of Miami walk on, and then gain a scholarship there, and then blessed to play 4 years in the NFL. It's been great. I've been around a lot of great players and a lot of great influences that helped me get there.
What position did you play in the NFL?
I was a wide receiver.
Okay. And Horace is your brother? Horace King?
No, I have 3 sisters.
Okay. I don't know why I was connecting you with Horace. He's from, I think, around the Athens area.
Yeah. I have 3 sisters. They're all in Florida. Two older, 1 younger.
All right. You play Saturday night this week.
Yes, we play Saturday. At Horizon, it's our first region opponent, and they're a pretty good bunch. New coaching staff up there, Mr. Coach Foreman, looking to continue to build that program. So it's going to be another big road test for us at Bennett Park on a new turf field they have up there. So it should be another good game for us on the road. Another good test.
Just a region game?
It is a region game, yes, sir.
Okay. So have you played a region game yet?
No, this will be our first region game for the 2011 season, and then we follow that with our rivalry game, Covenant, on September 22nd.
All right, once again, LCA plays on Saturday night this week, so make sure you make your plans accordingly. All right, we're back now with sports writer David Johnson. And David, I forgot to mention George Walton that we were talking about last week, but you were at the ball game, so let's talk about that.
Okay, yeah, that was, just this week they've got homecoming. They've got Hebron Christian coming up, which is probably the perfect homecoming opponent that you want. Hebron's a fairly new program. Just kind of trying to get established. They're in 8A, but they're not playing a region schedule yet. So George Walton should be able to handle them, and it's probably an angry bunch of Bulldogs going to be going into that game after last week's game. It's one of those that I sat there in the press box after the game thinking, now, how did they lose that game? Warren County had 2 first downs the entire game, didn't complete a pass. George Walton held them 33 points below their normal scoring average. Warren County ran 9 plays the entire second half for 9 yards, and yet somehow George Walton found a way to lose it. Inevitably, in those situations, it's mistakes that kill you. They just had turnovers and penalties at all the wrong times, and they just blew it, and there's no other way around it. So I imagine they'll be anxious to get back on the winning track this week.
Did Hebron win this game last year? No.
George Walton, I think, beat them by. Actually, Hebron went 9-1 last year, playing a non-region schedule. But the only loss they had was to George Walton, and it was 50-7. So it's
I was backwards. I knew there was a 1 there.
Right.
But Hebron last year had I can't think of the kid's name from Windabera as their quarterback, but he transferred when they changed coaches over there a couple of years ago. All right, let's talk about some other games coming up this week. Again, it is homecoming at George Walton on Friday night. Walnut Grove's back in action.
Yeah.
Which Walnut Grove team we're going to see?
Right. Yeah. I was talking to Coach Soto and telling him, you probably couldn't have picked a worse time to take a week off. They had their bye this week, and after that second game, of course, they got shut out in their first game, came back the next week and just had their best game in their short history. Came and blanked Jackson County, looked really strong, and then they just had to sit around for these past couple of weeks waiting to play again. And so, but Coach Soto felt like it's actually probably a good thing. He wasn't worried about losing the momentum. He feels like, being a young team, they can certainly use that time to get ready. And, of course, they've been going strong since August 1st without a break since practices started. So he felt like, his guys probably could use the break. Of course, they're still practicing getting ready, but it's just not that pressure of getting ready for a game coming up. And so, yeah, it'll be interesting to see, you know, did they really turn the corner against Jackson County, or are they still going to be the young team that, and of course they got a tough stretch coming up. 4 of their next 5 are on the road. So we'll find out a lot about Walnut Grove up in Carnesville against Franklin County Friday.
And that quote surprised me too when he said that it's a good way to go into an off week. And most coaches don't want to go into an off week after a big win.
Right, yeah. But he felt like, you know, being the young team that they are, they could use that time. They could use the break, number one, and then they could just use that time to work on some things and just and get better. So we'll see how that works out for them.
And I don't know if you folks ever been to Franklin County. You ever been to a game over there?
Never have, no.
Oh, it's going to be noisy. We've talked about cannons, and high schools have cannons. That's a howitzer they have in Franklin County. You will know if the Lions score.
Yeah.
And what's so crazy, they'll wait 30 seconds after the touchdown when you've forgotten all about it. So don't forget to take earplugs.
Well, Coach Soto said he, of course, he's from Loganville. He's been at Franklin County both as a player and a coach. And so he mentioned, yeah, it's a tough place to play. So,
it is, because you think this is an anti-aircraft gun firing at you. All right, Monroe area, going to try to, they're seeing a lot of Lumpkin County lately.
Yeah, this will be the 3rd time they've played them in what, 10, 12 games, I guess. They played them twice last year, of course, once the regular season, and of course the AAA has that play-in game for the 10th game to see who's going to make the playoffs. And so, yeah, this will be the 3rd time they played them in pretty short order. And so I think this is going to be a really defining game for Monroe coming up, because we really don't know who Monroe is right now. Of course, they lost that heartbreaker in overtime. DeMonticello came back against Riverwood and looked pretty good. But now they're going to step into their region and start playing one team in their own region. And we'll find out a lot about this Monroe team, I think, this week when they play Lumpkin County.
You got to hold on to football.
Exactly, yeah. I was about to say, they've just got to, I think with the triple option, you just accept that you're going to have some turnovers. I mean, the way that option is run, you're going to put the ball on the ground some. But last week, I think their first 3 possessions, they had three turnovers. You just can't do that. So.
All right, I only got a couple of minutes left. Loganville's going to be at home against Madison County. On paper, it looks like a mismatch. Loganville should win it easily. And Madison County's always given the Red Devils problems.
Right, but this is a game that Loganville should win, and they really have to win if they're going to make the playoffs. There's, the way Quad A is setting up right now. It's, of course, top 4 teams in region go to state. Right now, it looks like probably Clark Central, Heritage, Flowery Branch. They're pretty much locked into those 3 positions as far as I can see. And so you got 8 teams fighting for that one leftover spot. Really 5 teams with a legitimate shot, Loganville being one of them. So they really need to beat the teams that they should beat, and this is clearly one of them.
All right, kickoff for all the fall games, or all the football games this coming weekend. And don't forget, LCA plays on Saturday. It's 7:30. Get out and watch a football game. We'll talk to you here next time.